All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory due unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash. That's all praises who the world calls God in Jesus Christ. Their true names in the Hebrew is Yahweh for the Heavenly Father, and Yahushai for his beloved Son. This is the brother Tazabah here in Phoenix. Lord willing, with another lesson to edify. So the article says Venezuelan women turning to prostitution to survive. In this prophecy, this is really prophecy because, a lot of women are proud. A lot of women are proud, especially of the tribes, man. We have the most proudest women, that there could be other than Esau, and what you're going to see in this article is that a lot of these women had high claim in the world, They were doctors, they were lawyers, they were this and that. And when the economy crashed, when things weren't how do you say, optimal for them in the best way, all they had left was their body, man, So they started selling their bodies. I'm going to read some of this article. Lord willing, this is edifying. It says a prostitute in Cartagena, Colombia, on April 19, 2012, Venezuelan women are entering the sex trade to survive after fleeing the crisis in their home country. And what is the crisis? Economic collapse. Because in Venezuela, there are a lot of the inflation is so real that a regular sized chicken is going for, damn near $500,000. A regular chicken is going for $500,000, and the Lord has a way of doing these things, man. Because in the Book of Kings, I believe, there were two women. Both of them had sons, and they were really young. And the one said, we are to slay my son today and cook him and eat him, and yours tomorrow. Because that inflation was so real that, dove's dung was sold for pieces of silver, a bird shit, and that's the streets that Venezuela's gotten to. And now women are selling their bodies. It says Venezuelan women in Colombia are driven into prostitution to survive as the country's citizens continue to flee political repression and economic crisis at home. A Sky News investigation of the sex trade in the Colombian town of Cucata found a disproportionate number of Venezuelan women working the clubs and street corners of the border town. In one brothel, 60 women, 58 were from Venezuela, and just 2 were from Colombia. One woman, a mother of 2, who was a ballerina and a businesswoman in her home country, told Sky News, "I would give this up if there was any other option. This is a shameful job, but what option do I have?" At the end of the day, if you're not humble, that's going to be the same thing you're faced with, but it's going to get even worse. Because the places that they're fleeing, they still have some resemblance of a police force, man. But, when that's all gone, it's every man for himself. And if you women don't have a man of the Lord, and if you don't have the covering of the Lord, you're going to be ass out. Unfortunately, man, that's just how the game goes. It says, "I have to make money to look after my children and feed them." The woman continued, "There is a nothing in Venezuela. The only way to put food on the table for my children is to travel here to Colombia and sell my body." Another woman, a mother of a 1-year-old, said she was a hairdresser before the deepening crisis forced her to flee across the border in search of new opportunities. If things ever get any better in Venezuela, I'd love to set up my own business, she said. Anything would be better. I do this because I have to do this. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I just do this. If I could do something better, I'd do it. And I'd stop this straight away. You see? You know? So a lot of women are turning to sex trade because the economic collapse, and that thing is going to happen to America too, because everybody's leaving the US dollar. Everybody's leaving it. So what happens when that happens? Hyperinflation's going to hit. Now you're having trade argument deals and everything through major companies and crippling rising debt. You know, this stuff is going to happen where the entire society is going to collapse, and there's going to be worse things than you women just selling your ass. You know, there's going to be far worse things, and the scriptures talk about them. Because that claim that you have in this world doesn't matter. Because, like the scriptures say, let me get it. Proverbs 11:14. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivered from death. So though you're doing well in society right now, that's good and dandy, but that's not going to save you in a day where the Lord brings distress upon everyone, you know? All these economic trade deals and sanction wars and all this is leading to an economic collapse. Because it was the same thing they did in the Roman Empire, and everything works in circles, man. The Lord said there's nothing new under the sun. You know, that which has been, meaning whatever happened in the past, and it says that which has been is that which shall be. Whatever happened in the past is what's going to happen in the present day today. Now, I'm going to go into some of these precepts and Lord willing to edifying. Isaiah 32. And 9. It says, rise ye women that are at ease. Meaning, you know, the Lord's going to sit here and give you a wake-up call. Those that are doing well off and all that, hear my voice, ye careless daughters, and give ear unto my speech. So all you women that are like, you know, extremely comfortable, the Lord's going to get it to a point where he's going to get your attention. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble. You know, the vintage shall fail and the gathering shall not come, meaning that great acclaim and all those things that you were getting, those goodies, that's going to all fall, man. Those great jobs you have, those that well-to-do state that you're in, that's all going to come to naught. It says, tremble ye women that are at ease, and be troubled, ye careless ones. You know, so the Most High is going to put you in fear, because a lot of people think that everything's always going to continue as it is. And more so, women are a lot more in that state to where they don't take anything in account of, what's going to happen if this stuff doesn't continue. And the Lord says, tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled, you careless ones, strip you, make you bare, gird sackcloth upon your loins, meaning he's going to put you in a mournful state. Just like those women that are selling their bodies in Venezuela, in Cuba, fleeing other places just so they could feed their children. You know, the Lord has humbled them with sackcloth because now they're in a position where they're no longer doctors and lawyers, man. They're no longer well-to-do business women. You know, they're going to be selling their bodies like common prostitutes. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. And that's what's happening, man. And it's going to happen to all you women that are not humble and doing right. You know, it says, this is Amos, and I'm going to jump back to Isaiah 32. This is Amos 6:1. woe to them that are at ease in Zion, that are comfortable, that have no cares in the world, that, you know, they're living well, so they don't really care about the Lord or what he has to say, and trust in the mountain of Samaria. And Samaria right now is really that chief merchant city, And who's that chief merchant city? It's Babylon the Great, America, which are named chief of the nations to whose house of Israel came. It says, pass ye to Kalan and see, and from thence go ye to Hamath the Great, then go down to Gath of the Philistines. Be they better than these kingdoms, or their border greater than your border? It says, ye that put far away the evil day, and cause the seat of violence to come near. And that's what happens, man. 2/3 of the nations in Israel, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you put off the day of evil, man. You act like the Lord is never going to recompense. And a lot of the women of the tribes do this. Far, so much of them do this, man. That they cause the seat of violence to come near because they put the day of the Lord off and they don't ever think anything's going to happen. So they never take to heart any rebuke or any instruction, and they continue on in what they do. It says that lie upon their beds of ivory and stretch themselves upon their couches and eat the lambs out of the flock and the calves out of the midst of the stall. That's talking about how lavish you're able to live. Though you have a good job and you're able to pay your bills and you can get some clothes and stuff like that, you think everything's fine. But though you do all these things and you're able to eat this well, it says, verse 5, that chant to the sound of the viol, to the intent to themselves instruments of music like David, that drink wine in bowls and anoint themselves with the chief ornaments, but they are not grieved for the affliction of Joseph. Therefore, now shall ye go into captivity with the first that go into captivity, and the banquet of them that stretch themselves shall be removed. So the way you were living lavish in this world, that's going to be taken away from you. How you were able to stretch out on your beds, feel comfortable, have room to do whatever you wanted to do, that's going to be taken away because of pride. Verse Isaiah 32:5. The vile person shall no more be called liberal, and the cruel said to be bountiful. And that's what's going to happen, because a lot of our people, of the tribes, the men as well, and a lot of the women, they're liberal. They can do a lot of things, they can go into a lot of things, and so they're confident in things they do because they have the abundance and the ability to do these things. But, there's going to come a day that even though you're able to do those things and be harsh and be really degrading to your people with how you're able to do it, the Lord said, you're no longer going to be said to be bountiful. Meaning, though you have those liberties to do those things and you were living and you were well-to-do, you're no longer going to have that well-to-do status. This is Zechariah 14:2. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, meaning the women raped. The half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall be cut off from the city. So a lot of women are going to be in bad case in these last days because, they don't want to humble themselves, Salakia. This is going to be the last precept. This is Lamentations 5 and 6. This is we 5 and 6, Lamentations 5 and 6. We have given the hand to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread. And that's what a lot of the tribes have done, man. They trust in the system. They trust in this job market. They trust in everything that's of this world. So they give their hands into the Egyptians, the so-called white men. It says, our fathers have sinned and we are not. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. Servants has ruled over us. There is none that do deliver us out of their hand. Meaning the so-called white man rules over us, and women, because the word woman just means to be a servant, they've ruled over the men as well. Which is wicked, because the scriptures tell you that the woman shall not usurp her authority over the man. It says, we got our bread with the peril of our lives because of the sword of the wilderness. Our skin is black like an oven because of the terrible famine. They ravished the women in Zion and the maids of the city of Judah, And this is talking about the times that are going to happen again, man. These things have happened, but it's going to happen all over again in these last days. So a lot of you women just have to humble down, man. And a lot of you men have to do the same. Because the days that are coming, man, it's going to be rough out here. So if you don't have the Lord with you, and if you're not treating a man of the Lord, where do you think he is, of the elect number or not? If he's doing the work of the Lord, he's doing right. In the right way, man. He's giving up his body and making his body a living sacrifice, putting his face on blast. Nobody else's. You have to treat that man with respect, man. So Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to say Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai for this lesson. And call halal Yahweh Shai Shalom.